listen to this. Because if what you're about to hear is true, it's not just the biggest royal scandal in decades. It's a cover-up so bold, it could topple the very foundation of the British monarchy. Woman has come forward claiming she isn't just some anonymous surrogate hired in secret. No, she's saying she's the biological mother of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's 2 children. Her eggs, her pregnancies, her births, not Meghan's. And here's where it gets even darker. This woman, known only by the initials DL, says she was promised 2 things: absolute privacy and a life-changing payout. But after the babies were born, total silence. No thanks, no check, no acknowledgement. It's like she never existed. Until now. Because DL isn't hiding anymore. She's armed with hospital records, signed NDAs, financial transaction logs, and names of people directly tied to Harry and Meghan's inner circle. And the second this goes public, it won't just be another celebrity drama. It'll be a constitutional crisis. If these children weren't born of Meghan and no surrogacy was legally declared, it would mean everything the royal family has built its legitimacy on, centuries of carefully guarded bloodlines, was compromised, in secret, by 2 of its most famous modern members. And here's the wild part. The palace knows. Insiders say legal teams are already scrambling behind the scenes. Well, Meghan has gone silent, and Harry is reportedly spiraling. This is no tabloid rumor. This is the story they prayed would never surface. And now, it's about to blow wide open. Stay with me, because what comes next will stun you. For years, the world believed Meghan Markle gave birth to Archie and Lilibet, royal babies, born of a modern duchess, ready to shake up centuries of stiff British tradition. But now, a woman known only as DL has shattered that narrative with one earth-shattering claim. Those are her children. Not a hired surrogate, not a medical arrangement, not a discreet favor. Her eggs, her pregnancies, her births. She's saying she carried both royal heirs in secret, while the world was fed a carefully staged fairy tale. And this isn't some random internet rumor cooked up in a Reddit thread. DL says she has signed NDAs from 2018, private hospital admission records, financial transaction logs, and even personal contacts within Harry and Meghan's circle. If what she claims is true, this isn't just a betrayal of public trust. It's an illegal deception with consequences that ripple all the way to Buckingham Palace. Why does this matter so much? Because under the royal rules, for a child to be in the official line of succession to the British throne, they must be born of the mother who publicly claims them. No secret surrogates, no medical stand-ins, no exceptions. So if DL's story holds any truth, it doesn't just expose Harry and Meghan's private family drama. It blows a hole in the monarchy's most sacred tradition, bloodline legitimacy. And suddenly, everything about those perfectly curated baby announcements and staged belly-rubbing photo ops starts to look a lot less heartwarming and a whole lot more calculated. But how did this woman get roped into such a dangerous game? Stick around, because the deal she claims she was offered next is even more disturbing. According to DL, this wasn't some last-minute arrangement or accidental involvement. She was carefully recruited through what she describes as a discreet intermediary linked to a high-end private clinic in California. The same kind of place celebrities and billionaires quietly turn to when they need things handled off the record. From the beginning, DL claims she was offered 2 simple promises: total privacy and a life-altering payout. She wouldn't be named, photographed, or acknowledged. In exchange, she'd walk away with enough money to disappear comfortably, and her connection to Harry and Meghan would be erased from existence. And in her words, that was the deal she agreed to. No public claim, no scandal, just a quiet, professional arrangement. But the moment those babies were born, everything changed. DL alleges that within hours of giving birth, the communication lines went dead. The people she dealt with vanished. No payments arrived. No follow-up. No thank you. No acknowledgement. It was as if she'd never existed at all. and any attempt she made to reach out was met with silence. Even worse, DL believes there was a deliberate campaign to wipe her out of the story entirely. Not just ignoring her, but scrubbing digital records, locking down hospital documents, and cutting off any trace that might link her to the Sussex inner circle. She says she went along with it at first, trusting that the arrangement would stay buried. But after years of silence, betrayal, and watching Meghan and Harry parade around the world with the very children she claims to have birthed, DL decided it was time to speak up. And now she's coming out swinging. Because the receipts she's holding aren't vague accusations, they're documented proof. And the second they hit the public, this story isn't speculation anymore. And what's inside those receipts? Oh, that's where this story really explodes. Stay with me. DL isn't playing games. According to her, she's sitting on a mountain of evidence that could turn the scandal from a whispered rumor into an undeniable royal disaster. We're talking about signed NDAs dated from late 2018, hospital admission records from a private Colorado facility, digital correspondence with people inside Meghan and Harry's team, and even bank transaction records showing quiet payments linked to Sussex-associated accounts. But the real bombshell? Photos. DL claims to have images taken from inside the hospital during what she says was Archie's birth. Not just of the room, but of the birth certificate process, the hospital bracelet logs, documents insiders say would be impossible to fake without insider access. For years, those odd rumors about Meghan's pregnancies floated in conspiracy circles. Remember the viral clip of Meghan's baby bump folding awkwardly when she bent down? Or the unusually private birth announcement with no traditional hospital steps photo op? Back then, people chalked it up to the couple's obsession with privacy. But now, with DL's claims surfacing, every one of those old rumors is being dragged out, frame by frame, and re-examined with brutal scrutiny. And behind closed doors, insiders say the palace is in full damage control mode. Because if these receipts go public, and DL is threatening they will, this stops being about speculation. It becomes a crisis no one can spin. And the truth gets even messier from here. This isn't the first time Meghan's pregnancies have sparked whispers. In fact, the speculation started the very moment she announced Archie's birth. Royal watchers noticed it immediately, the lack of a traditional hospital photo op outside the Lindo wing, the oddly phrased birth announcements, and the strange timing of public statements that left more questions than answers. Back then, critics were quickly labeled as conspiracy theorists. The palace brushed off concerns, claiming the couple simply wanted privacy. Meghan's defenders dismissed the chatter as petty tabloid nonsense. And for a while, it worked. The narrative held. But now, in light of DL's explosive claims, people are going back and re-watching those old interviews, reanalyzing photos, and questioning the narrative they were sold. Remember that moment during Meghan's TV appearance when her baby bump appeared to shift unnaturally? Or the unusually secretive handling of Lilibet's birth with almost no official details released? Those moments, once dismissed as quirks, now look like carefully staged misdirection. Even the detail about Meghan's name being quietly removed from Archie's birth certificate in 2019 is raising new alarms. At the time, it was chalked up to royal formatting or personal preference. But now, some legal analysts suggest it may have been a strategic move to distance Meghan's legal identity from official birth records. One thing's clear, the story people thought they knew about the Sussex children's births is unraveling fast. And the next revelation, it points directly at Prince Harry himself. For years, the world painted Prince Harry as the rebellious loyal, the wounded son trying to shield his family from the suffocating grip of the monarchy. He was the sympathetic figure, the prince who broke free. But if DL's claims are true, that image crumbles fast. Because what insiders are now quietly suggesting is that Harry wasn't just aware of this alleged arrangement. He was an active participant in staging the lie. Think about it. The carefully posed photos of Harry beaming as he rubbed Meghan's baby bump, the sentimental interviews about fatherhood, the dramatic Oprah sit-down where they spoke about their children's futures with misty eyes. All of it now feels like part of an elaborately orchestrated performance. And if Harry knew those pregnancies weren't real and still stood before cameras, playing the devoted, expectant father, then he wasn't just lying by omission. He was helping sell a false narrative to the entire world. According to palace insiders, whispers about Harry's involvement aren't new. Rumors suggest he was fully briefed on the plan from the start, and that his image was used deliberately to shield Meghan from growing suspicion. The public trusted him. They believed his grief, his protectiveness. But now, with DL's receipts looming, that trust is cracking. And if Harry's role is exposed, the fallout won't just be personal. It could destabilize the monarchy itself. And it gets even worse from here. This isn't just about hurt feelings, family drama, or celebrity gossip anymore. If DL's claims are proven true, the British monarchy isn't looking at a PR disaster. They're staring down a constitutional crisis. See, royal lineage isn't symbolic tradition. It's the legal backbone of the monarchy itself. Every royal title, succession right, and official duty depends on clear, documented, and publicly acknowledged bloodlines. And those rules are old-school strict. If Meghan didn't give birth to Archie and Lilibet, and no formal legal surrogacy was disclosed to both the Crown and the UK government, then by royal law, those children might not legally qualify for titles, privileges, or a place in the line of succession. And here's where it gets even messier. The British monarchy has never dealt with a scandal like this. Fertility treatments and modern surrogacy arrangements weren't built into royal protocol. There's no clean precedent. Legal experts warn this could trigger debates in Parliament, demands for official inquiries, and a brutal review of how the Crown handles lineage in a modern world. If the truth comes out, the Sussex children's titles could be stripped, their positions erased, and for the monarchy, an institution already battered by controversy and declining public trust, it could ignite a crisis bigger than anything since the abdication of King Edward VIII. And right now, the palace's silence is only making it worse. What happens next is already sending shockwaves through royal circles. As DL's claims began to surface in whispers and quiet legal threats behind the scenes, the response from the Sussexes was swift and deeply telling. Meghan Markle, the woman who built a global brand on activism, transparency, and constant media presence, vanished. No appearances, no statements, no cryptic Instagram quotes, nothing. For someone so skilled at controlling her own narrative, her sudden radio silence is being seen by many as a massive red flag. Insiders claim she's laying low to avoid legal exposure, while others suspect she's working behind closed doors to piece together a defense before DL's receipts become public. Meanwhile, Prince Harry's mental state is reportedly unraveling fast. According to those close to the couple, he's grown increasingly restless, paranoid, and emotionally unstable. Friends say he's barely sleeping, obsessively monitoring headlines, and snapping at Meghan behind closed doors over how to manage the growing crisis. Royal insiders describe the palace in full-blown panic mode. Legal teams working overtime, crisis PR firms on standby, advisors drafting multiple statements, unsure which nightmare scenario they'll need to address first. And perhaps most telling of all, the eerie, deafening silence from both the Sussex camp and Buckingham Palace. No denials, no counterclaims, just a suffocating stillness. And that silence is speaking louder than any words ever could. But the real fallout isn't confined to them alone. It's spreading fast, and Hollywood's next. Whether DL's claims are ultimately proven true or dismissed in court, one thing is certain: the damage is already done. The cracks in the Sussex fairy tale aren't just showing, they're spreading. What began as a love story of rebellion and escape from royal oppression has now unraveled into a tangle of secrecy, betrayal, and a scandal with stakes far beyond two celebrity parents. Because this isn't just about Archie and Lilibet, or even Meghan and Harry. This is about power, about image, about the ruthless behind-the-scenes lengths people will go to in order to protect a carefully curated story. And in the British monarchy, a system that survives on tradition, legitimacy, and public trust, a single exposed lie can send the entire house of cards crashing down. DL's claims have already forced people to look at old footage, interviews, and headlines with fresh, skeptical eyes. The public's faith has shifted. Hollywood is backing away. Former allies have gone quiet. And Buckingham Palace, for the first time in decades, is facing a reckoning it may not be able to spin or suppress. And if this claim holds, if proof surfaces that what began as a royal love story was built on a lie, then the monarchy itself won't just be bruised. It could be broken. The world is watching, and time is running out.